All right, thank you everyone for attending this webinar today. This is scheduled for an hour and a half, and we'll try to answer your questions as we go through this here. On the right-hand side of this panel, there is a section where you can type in your questions. Like I said, we're going to break this down into bite-sized chunks. So when I go over the first section, then we'll open it up and kind of answer questions. So, so be jotting down your questions. Feel free to type them in as I go through this section, and then we'll answer them here. So the first thing I want to show you is some searching. You just want to log in and do some searches here. So one of the first tips I want to show you is using this speed bar here at the top here. The speed bar is probably the first thing you're going to use this speed bar for, is searching by MLS number. So let's say you log in, you know an MLS number. Well, all you do is need to simply type it in, and 93, and hit enter. And once you type that in, hit enter, boom, there's your MLS listing. You can do what you need with it, find it real quick. Now you can also type in multiple MLS numbers in this section. So you can either do a comma and then the next MLS number, 1694, and hit enter, or you can just put a space in between it. So with MLS numbers, you can actually do a comma or a space. It really doesn't matter. I like to just do spaces because everything else within this, inside a matrix, inside the speed bar here, requires just nothing but a space in here. So if I type in another one, 7140, and I hit enter, you can see just by typing in 3 MLS numbers right up here, there you go. You've got all your listings information that you need, and life is good, and you've got everything in there. So that's the one thing you can do in the speed bar, is just by simply typing in the MLS number. Next thing you can do in here is type in the address. So if you know you had a property at 131 Cherry Laurel, now make sure when you're typing this in, if I leave it like this, it needs to be exactly the street name, Cherry Laurel. You notice you don't want to type in the north, south, east, or west in here, and you do not want to type in a road or street or avenue. So just street number and street name. And once you hit enter, it pulls up the property. Now, a lot of people may not know the exact spelling of this. In fact, this is probably a better way of doing this, is because sometimes you don't know how it's spelled. You don't know if it's one word or two words. So I'm going to show you another trick here. If I just type in 131 Cherry and do an asterisk, the asterisk at the end means I don't know how it ends with. I know it starts with Cherry, but is it Cherry Laurel one word or Cherry Laurel two words? I just know it's Cherry asterisk. The asterisk is going to be your wildcard option here. Okay. Tom, I noticed you just added a question here. Is it possible to add a list or edit a listing on this screen? In ML Exchange and Fusion, you were able to put a little check mark right here and say add or edit that listing and stuff. Right now, no, it's not, Tom. And we are looking at seeing how easy that is to add feature, because I agree with you. I think it would be a wonderful feature to do. So as of right now, no, it's not, and but it is on our agenda to look at, and hopefully it's something real easy we can do in there. Okay. Can we put a status plus street plus wildcard in and get active listings? Yeah, let me show you that here. I wouldn't do it with Lavelle. Yeah, that's. Yeah, let me show you this here. Let me finish this here, and I'll get to that part there. So 131 Cherry asterisk gets everything on here. Now, if I just take off the 131 part and I just do Cherry asterisk, what that's going to do is give us everything with Cherry. We're just doing a straight street name here, Cherry asterisk. So it's Cherry Blossom, Cherry Street, Cherry Wood, Cherry Creek, Cherry Bark. And you notice it's all statuses, all property types in here. So yes, you can type in an A space Cherry, and that should give you, in fact, it might prompt you like this here to say active and street names like Cherry. And then this way it'll just give you the actives on Cherry. So less is more. So if you just do no street number and Cherry and then put an A in there, you're going to get a lot more results. So if you're having trouble, because a lot of people like to type in different stuff there, you can do it that way also. Okay. Let's show you something else. So Cherry and then asterisk was there. But another common one in this area here is, like, let's say St. Charles Street. So here you don't know, is it ST period Charles, or is it ST no period? And I think that's probably the proper way of doing it, but some people put a period after it, and some people actually spell it out, St. Charles. So let me show you a trick here. If you just type in asterisk Charles, the asterisk at the begin part means I don't know what it starts with. I just know it ends with Charles. So if I do this search, I'm going to get everything that starts with, I don't know, but ends with Charles. So this is an ends with part here. So the ends with part is actually showing me that I can sort it by, or search. Because see here, there's Saint, the no spaces, Saint with, or no dash, no periods, or a period. And here's one actually spelled out, St. Charles. So the asterisk before is a really good way to do this. And I believe here, again, if I just type in an A and do it, it's going to do this here. Now, try not to get too much in here, because I think if I do something like res also in here, it might work. So you might want to play with this a little bit, but don't try to confuse it too much with status or with price and beds and bathrooms in here. I would try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. But as you can see, this one did work with not just asterisk Charles, but A for active and RES for res. And just to let you know, instead of A for active, you can also do S for solds and so forth. And here you notice it's going to have a lot of solds over the years. So I didn't really narrow it down by solds. It just pulled up a bunch in there. Can you also search by listing agent in the speed bar? You can't search by a listing. And Brandy, that's a good question. You can't search by a listing, but yes, you can search for the listing agent information, such as if I do AG, and then I want to see all the Smiths in here. AG stands for agent. And by the way, this little question mark right here, if you click on that question mark, it opens up and it kind of tells you some of the codes that you can do in here. Most of these look pretty good. So here's your property codes for your area or your property types, your street number, street name, parishes, price, beds. See right here, agent search starts with AG Brown or AG Adam Brown, or you can do an office search in here too. So a lot of these look pretty good, so definitely refer to this little question mark right here, and that will help you there. So getting back to Brandy's question here, if I just type in AG Smith and hit enter, I'm going to see all the agents with a last name of Smith or potentially a first name of Smith also. So it's just AG Smith, and I can see them here. And then also, maybe first name was John, which, that's going to be a lot of Johns in there. Well, I think I actually hit a space in there. So you can do that in Office. I don't know if it's OF or OFF. I'm just going to do OF, and then let's say Keller for Keller Williams. Yeah, I think it's OFF here. And Office name is like Keller. There we go. Okay. Oops, there we go. I think I hit a space in there too. And Lavelle, you said, given that, can we input an area to restrict the number of results? Probably not. I mean, you can try it, Lavelle, and see, but with the street name in there, try not to overwhelm it too much. As you saw, I did narrow it down by actives and res. Now you can't do, I will also say this, you cannot do area numbers in here, like area 71 or area 19, things like that. So that doesn't work. Now you can do zip codes though. If you look under, I won't pull it back up, but under that question mark, once again, it does tell you, and zip code is one of them there, and I think even parish. I've never tried the parish, but zip code does work in there. But adding that with the street number or street name, be kind of cautious on that there. So, and then you can also do this, asterisk Charles, asterisk. Now that means it contains. I don't know what it starts with. I don't know what it ends with. I just know somewhere in the middle is Charles. So let me do maple in here. Oop, maple and then asterisk. This is a contains. So if I do maple, you're going to see everything that has maple in it. Maple wood, silver maple, maple, just Maple Street, silver maple again. So I just want to show you it's a contains with. So I don't know if it starts with or ends with. I just know it's somewhere on maple. So that's one option there I want to show you. And let's do one more here. You can also, like that question mark showed you in here, besides the MLS number or besides the address or street name, you can do such as A for active, space, and then the RES for residential or MUL for multifamily. That list of codes is in that list there. Space, and then you can do a zip code, 70002 space, and then a $sign 200-400 would be everything between 200 and 400,000. Now, I could also say 200 minus, which means 200 or below. Or I could say 200 plus, which is 200,000 and above. Or I can do my range, the 400 in here. Space again. Here I can then do like 3, 2, which is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I could also say 3 plus space 2, which means 3 or more bedrooms and exactly 2 full baths. Or I could say 2 plus. And I take that back. If I say 2 plus, that might not be full baths. I think that's total baths. So let me do my search here. And you'll notice what I got. I got active listings. They all should be residential, which they are. They should be in that zip code and between 200 and 400,000, so it looks like they are there. And it should be 3 or more beds, so look at the bedrooms, 4 and 3. Now look at the baths. I said 2 or more, so I got 2 full baths, but I also got 3 full baths. So it's, I believe it is total baths. In fact, let me take out the plus here and do this search. See, okay, well, it might, I might be corrected. It might be a full bath, not a total bath there. So this here just gives, so it didn't give me a 1 full and 1 half bath is where I'm getting at. It always gave me at least 2 full baths. So I think I stand corrected. I believe that is 2 full baths, not total baths there. So you can do this in any range. So I didn't have to do the active res at the beginning. I could throw that here at the end, A and then res, and I should get the same results. But this part does matter which order you type it in. The 3 and a 2 or 3 plus and 2, the beds and baths needs to be in there together there. Okay, so if I just left the 2 off and made it 3 plus, what you're going to see here is it's going to be 3 or more beds, and it's going to ignore the baths. So if you just have one number, it's going to assume bedrooms, not baths in there. Cindy, you said agent search can only be by last name. No, Cindy, you can do first name. You can do anything in there, first or last. So if they got a unique first name and that's what you know, just do AG in that first name there. Okay, so you can do that there too. I'm pretty sure, I've never tried this. I think we can do multiple zip codes. So instead of just 7002, I can do 7000. I'm guessing at the zip codes here. And let's see here. And I'm not sure if that's a good zip code there. But if you did multiple zip codes there, let's just do 7000. Let's see here. Postal code. And it kind of tells you when you hit enter. Kind of tells you right here if you just hover over it. Postal code, yeah, see 7002. I just don't look like I'm doing good zip codes there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's move on here. So several different ways. I think that's just a quick search getting in. An MLS number and address is probably the best way, but that's some little tricks I want to show you there. Something else I want to show you while I'm doing searching tips. As you do a search for someone, and let's say I'm in the middle of a search for John, and then Susan calls me up and she wants me to search for her. If I want to multitask. This is something you could do in Fusion, but you couldn't do in ML Exchange. So you could have multiple searches open at one time. So let me show you how that works. Up here at the very, very top of your browser, I'm using Internet Explorer, but if you're using Chrome or Safari or Firefox, any other browser, it doesn't matter. If I'm in the middle of this search and I don't want to lose my spot here, if I go up to the tab here and I right-click on it, now this will operate. You can't really do this on a tablet or on your phone if you're in Matrix, but if you're on a computer or a Mac, you can just right-click on that tab up here and you can duplicate this tab. So by duplicating, now you're going to see I have two Matrix tabs open. I have another one here from my email, but now I have two Matrix tabs open. So now I can use one of them to search for Susan, what she wanted me to search for, but then when I'm done, I'm back over here and I'm doing the same thing for my client, John, and I didn't lose my spot. And yes, you can just right-click again and duplicate a third tab or fourth tab. And all it does is just open up your browser's multiple tabs. And that works in any website, not just Matrix. But it's a neat feature that a lot of people want to know while I'm inside of Matrix. So I'm just going to close that tab and close that extra tab and get you right back into Matrix here. So that's another little trick I want to show you. Now, once you do your search and you get the results here, and just let me do 200, just find some properties here. Okay. Eileen, right now we could do another webinar like this, but I am recording this, Eileen, so definitely look for the link so that way you can pull it back up and go through it at your own pace and pause it and things like that. So I'm glad you find it helpful. That's great. Okay, so once you do your search and get the results, let me kind of play around with this and show you some stuff that we've been hearing a lot of questions on, how you do a lot of things and so forth here. Now you notice it takes me to the single line view. As soon as I do my search and get the results, what I'm seeing here first is the single line view. Now if I click on the MLS number, it changes it and changes this to the agent with full with photo. Okay. Now if I hit the back button, it will take me back to this previous screen with the MLS or the single line information. And if I click on the address, it will open up and show me the map of the property. And let me show you something once the map opens up here. Okay. If I zoom in on this a little bit, you can see the parcel boundaries. See the little gray boxes here? Okay, now it's on automatic, so that means it's automatically switching to the satellite view. But you see the little boxes, the parcel boundaries. So if I click on one, what you're going to notice here is that it shows me the address and owner's name. So I think that's pretty cool right there. So you can see the address and owner's name. And you can do this on any property, not just that property that you pulled up a map. So I can move this map over, and wherever inside of Matrix you pull up the map, what you can do this. You can click on a parcel, see who owns it, and if you click on this link down here that says lot dimensions, it's going to show you the lot dimensions of that property. How nice is that? I think that's a pretty cool feature there. So you'll have it in here and so forth. So any property here in here you'll have, and then you click on lot dimensions, and there you go. Now, if you want to print this out, just do a right-click on this, and you can save this picture, email the picture, or print the picture, and stuff like that. Okay? So all that is just a recap. If I click on the MLS number, it just opens it up. Zoom in a little bit, get to it a little closer, and now you can see the parcels. Just a normal click on it shows you this, and then a normal click on lot dimensions. We'll pull that up and show you, and you might need to zoom in a little bit. to get this right. And then to print it is right click, save it, email it, and print it there. Okay. Eileen, we will post this link somewhere inside of either message of the day or on probably everywhere and stuff. So Rodney, yeah, cool. Yeah, I do think that's cool too, Rodney. So yeah, awesome. Now, once you open up the map, up here, do notice that there's a Google Street View. Your clients can see this also. Your clients can see this. Now, your clients cannot see the parcel address, but your clients can see the Google Street View. So, and you can change this. So if you don't think this listing, well, first of all, you're going to be able to change the mapping. So if you don't think this is mapped right, you can change it. And if you don't like this Google Street View when it first pulls it up, because maybe it's looking at it like this and you're kind of confused which house is it, and you want to get it set just right. Or sometimes maybe the house is behind us. So what you might need to do is kind of flip this around and get it to the proper house. So let's say that's the house. In edit listing, this is not the part where this is not the place where you do that. I'm just showing you what it looks like. So if this is your listing, you will know you'll need to go in and add edit and change it. So I will be sure to show you that when we go in. So once again, all I did was just click on a address, pulls up the map, Google Street View's right there, and so forth there. Okay. Brandy, you said, will these reports automatically block the listing agent name when we send a report? Absolutely, yes. To a client, or do we have to specify? We'll get into that part. In fact, that's next. Let's talk about that now, Brandy. Once I find these reports or these listings, and I want to email these to my clients. Now, let me show you how to email these. And I know what you're thinking. Well, it's real easy. You just go down to the bottom here, and it says click email. Absolutely. But let me explain this. If I select these houses, these 4 properties, and I hit email, it's going to say, who do you want to email these to? I can open up the to box right here and pick all my clients who I want to get these. So if I pick Archie here and I hit the to box, it will send this to Archie. Now, nowhere in here does it ask me which report to send this to. So when this sends this to my client and he gets this, he's going to see it on his portal. We're going to talk about the portal in a moment. So, and on that portal, he chooses, does he want the full view, the thumbnail view, the single line view? He chooses, and they're always client-friendly reports, so they not see the listing agent's name and number on there. Okay? And so forth. Sharon, we'll have to get to that one later on here. Sharon contacts alphabetically. I think you're talking about in this list here. What you can do in this list, they are alphabetized by last name here, but what you can do is if I just know the person's first name, let's say Steve, if I just start typing in here, it should highlight, yeah, it should have sorted them out by contacts, because I noticed maybe, yeah, I have a Steve right here. I think I have to type in my last name. If I do Johnson, yeah, there we go. Yeah, then it kind of highlights it there. Okay, but no, no, you can't sort it by first name. No, I agree with you. I think we should allow, but right now, no, it's not. So I've heard that too before. So let me cancel this. I get down to the bottom here. You notice I just select the 4 house and I hit email, and whenever you hit that email button, it always sends it on their portal. Now, what if you got someone and you don't want to email to them on their portal? You just want to send it like one of these reports here, like the agent full view or client full view. Now, you know you shouldn't be sending the agent full view to your clients, but let's say you want to email to yourself as an agent full view, or you need to email one of these reports to, let's say, a inspector or a appraiser or something like that, someone who's not really a client of yours. So what you can do, instead of hitting the email button, this is where the print button comes in. If I hit the print button, what I can do here is I can print, or I can go to the agent full view here, not just print, but I can email the agent full view right here. Okay, So under Agent Full View, if I hit Email PDF, it's going to email that Agent Full View to whoever I want to send it to. Now remember, I can email the Agent Full View to a client, but should I? That's something you need to think about before you send that. Now you can also do this. You can do Agent Full View, hold down the Control button and pick multiple reports such as Full, Agent Full, and Client Full, and then email this to yourself, and then you can just take out the Full and just forward on the Full View here. So just going back to this, if I select those 4, my 2 ways of emailing is 1, hit the email button, but that goes to a portal. If I hit the print button, I can choose whichever reports I like and then email it. Or I can hit print PDF. And if I'm going to print this out, several of you probably have already noticed that when I pick a report and I hit print, it does print kind of small or pretty small. If you use the print to PDF or the preview option, it will do a little better job of making it better there. Okay, and we are working on creating a full page, bigger, larger text font out there. It's not as easy as what you think it is. So we're working on creating a one-page full view that has bigger fonts on the printing, because that's a lot of questions we get. So I hope that answers your questions about emailing a listing. It's actually under print if you want to do the reports. This one does the portal. We'll do the CMA here in a bit. Driving directions, I love the driving directions. So if you select the houses you want, you hit directions, it's going to put them here and in the best order. So house 1, house 2, house 3, and house 4. It does, let me zoom out just a tad bit, put it in the best driving order in here. Now, if you don't like that, and before I do that, let me show you. Here's the houses that I've got in my list. It tells me turn by turn on all of those. I can print this out. I can email this here. I can add a starting, and I can add a stopping point in here. Okay, add a start, add a stop, and I can grab these houses and move it in the order that I like them in. So you can rearrange this if you like. Now, if you do rearrange it, you're going to need to make sure you hit the directions button again. And what it does, it just recalculates it. And here's your new order that you can do. Okay. Okay, and Joette, yes, after selecting listings from the list, how can I isolate selected listings only? Yeah, we'll cover that one too. That's a very good question. That's already on my list. So we'll get into that one here next. Okay. In fact, let's go there. Now that I've got these 4 houses or 5 houses or 6 houses, I want to hide the other ones. I just want to see these 6 houses that I selected. So once I've selected them, then I come down to refine, and I can narrow them down. Right here, narrow. Narrow means I'm just showing those 6 houses and not the others. And what's nice about this is if I go back to the map tab, it's only going to show me those 6 houses that I mapped. Okay, so there you go. You can narrow it down. Now, to get back, just it's actually right up here. It says original results. You should be able to actually use the back button here too. So if I use the back button, now it's going to take me back. Might take me back to that map grid. So let's do the back button. Here we go. See what it did? It just unfiltered, and I brought all 56 back, not just the 6. Okay. And Judy, yes, absolutely. I just showed you how to email those selected listings. Absolutely. So Judy, just once you got them selected, just remember you're going to hit the action and email or print. Okay. So once I narrow this down to just those 6 houses, now you don't have to narrow it down and then go back and email this here. Okay. Don't make this extra work for you. All you need to do is, like I showed you before I narrowed those, just select them, and then under actions hit email or print. And when I hit email or print, it's only going to be those 5 or 6 that I have in there. Okay. Eileen, I can talk about, I'll try to remember to talk about the broker tour, and can you do this in the hot sheet? Probably can. Selena, in the hot sheet, I'm sure you can in the hot sheet. Okay. So Eileen, I'll try to remember your broker tour question there. Okay. So that's your refine button. Or you can do the opposite. Maybe I pick these 6 houses because I don't like these. I can hit the discard button. And now I'm down to 50 houses and not 56. And that way what I can do, as I don't like them, I can select them and then I can say discard. So that way it takes them out of the list, and now I'm just keep filtering them out as I know. Like if this is a CMA. If I was doing this for a CMA and I know right now I don't like some of these houses, they're not good comps, well, just get them out of my way and discard them. Okay? And then I can bring them back by hitting undiscard. It brings all of them back to my list here. Okay? Let's see. Appraisers. If you're an appraiser and you want to print these out for your 1004 MC report, well, watch this. You notice right here I'm showing the first 25 of 56 properties. If I hit the select button here, it's only selecting 25, not all 56. Okay? That means I need to go to the next page and select the next 25. Now, if I know right now I like all 56, I can hit the all button right here. See where it says checked 50? I can hit the all button here, and now it selects all 56. Or I can hit the none button, and they all go away. Okay, so if I hit the all, they all get selected, or none. Or page was what I just did. That just selects one page at a time. But for the appraisers, let's say I need all 56 of these. Once I've got the 56 here, and I need the 1004 MC, well, down here under Action, and it's under Print, is where I print the 1004 MC reports, either the detail or the summary. Detail means it's going to give me that sheet of information that I need as an appraiser, but it's also going to list out all the houses below, where the summary is just the top half of it. So do both of those, and that should be your 1004 MC right there. A lot of people are asking about the side-by-side comparison report also, that in the old system you could see the houses side by side. Well, guess what? It's right here. It's the 3-up comparison. Okay, so let me go back to results. So if I pick some houses in here and I want to see them side by side like I could in the old system, just go to Print, pick the 3-up comparison, and then use the Print to PDF option. And now you're going to see them side by side. And this works, I think, great for the CMA also. So this could be one of your pages for a CMA when you're seeing. And I picked, I think I picked all 56 houses, so it's taking a second to pull all 56 up. And let me zoom out on this a little bit. So here's your side-by-side report. So you can see the first 3 houses. You can see the second 3 houses. And then you can see keep on going down here. Okay? So all I did was back here on the results, select the houses I want, went down the Print, and I could do the 3-up comparison. Okay? And I can email that also if I want to, or print those out. So remember my print option or email option, I can email that report to people too. Okay. I think we can open this. Well, one more feature here, and we'll see if there's any questions before we go to the next section. Okay. Let's say I'm working with a client, and I'm going to show them some houses. I want to show this feature called carts. Okay. So here's my carts, and I've got some properties here. Why would you want to put listings in a client's cart? Well, think of carts as a folder. Why would you want to put listings in a client's folder? Well, one reason I've been finding that a lot of people like to do is, and Susan, no, you cannot number the listings on the results grid. I've heard that many times also. Hopefully we can do that where we can number them, so I just want to mention that there. So I agree. If it was me, I would have all these things addressed and stuff, so I just don't know how easy or hard that is to do. So if I'm going to show a client, let's say Archie. Archie's a client of mine. and I've already got 3 houses in his cart. Well, let's say I'm going to go show him some more properties. Let's say, remember those MLS numbers I typed in earlier, 102, 1293, and space, and then I do another house, 102, 1694. Let's say those 2 houses, I'm going to go show those to him tonight. Well, once I type those 2 houses in and I hit enter, there they are. We're going to go see these houses, and he wants, to look at them. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to show him these houses, I'm going to put a check mark next to both of these here. And if you notice my action, refine, save, carts, the very last one is called carts. I want to add those 2 houses to Archie's cart, Archie Manning's cart right here. He already has 3 in here. If you notice that 3, I want to add 2 more to it. So when I hit this button right here, it says add to cart, it's going to make that 5. So now there's 5 houses in Archie's cart. So that means for me, and you could have a different reason of why you put houses in a cart, but I like to put them in there because I show them properties. So now whenever I look at this, I can see that I've got 5 listings in Archie's cart here, and now when I click on that, here are those 5 houses that are in his cart. And then what I can do after the showing, I can come back and click on this little notepad here and leave notes as to what he liked it, and I can even say showed on 3/17/15 and maybe didn't like. Okay, a little feedback. Now, when I type in notes here and I hit add notes, it does not email the clients. Okay, the client can see these. It's on his portal, and the client can leave me notes, but it doesn't email me those notes, but I can see those notes. Okay, so I just want to mention that there. Okay, that's on there. So, okay. Let me do something here real quick. There we go. Okay. Sharon wasn't able to see the questions here, so I wanted to unlock her so she can help answer some of these questions too. Thanks, Sharon. Okay. Okay. So I like throwing listings into a cart. Now, can the client see these listings? Okay. The only way he can see these listings is if I email these listings to him. And if I email to them and it's on their portal, okay, and Eileen, perfect timing here. How do you email someone so that it is not going to their portal? Okay, remember, Eileen, when I picked those houses, and if I hit the email button, it goes to their portal. But if I go to prints, and then I pick a client flyer view, and I hit email PDF, it does not go to their portal. Okay, so that's the option of sending that one report, those 3 listings, and emailing it, and it does not go to their portal. Okay, now I really like using the portal, and a portal is a one-stop spot where they all go to, and they never, if they miss an email from me, they don't have to worry about it because everything is on their portal, and it's a bucket that everything goes into, and they won't lose anything there. Okay, we'll talk about the portals here in a second also. So that's the carts, and add it to their cart, and it's mainly just for my information. Now, if I email listings to them, they can see them, but they don't really necessarily know I have these listings that are here. Okay. All right. Well, that's any questions before the next step is we're going to, and that's actually probably the 2 biggest sections in there. I think I kind of just jumped into the second section without stopping there, but I want to save an auto email. So I just want to make sure, searching wise, any things that Sharon and I can maybe address. How do you email listings in the cart to them so they can see them on the portal? Okay, so right here, Benita, once I see these 5 listings to Archie, and I click on those 5 houses, they're in his cart, but you can see right here it's never been emailed to him, so he does not see those. So if I select all 5 and then I hit the email button and it sends it to them on their portal, he sees them. That's how easy it is to do right there, Benita. And you know what? Let me do this. Here they are. I'm going to hit email. and I hit send. Now watch what happens after I send this here. It says emailed. So those 5 listings on his cart are now have been emailed to them, and if I look at his portal, or if Archie looks at his portal, these 5 listings are now on his site. Okay, so very, very good question there. And Cindy, in the search bar, I type AG first name, does not work. Last name, it works. Okay. Sharon and I will make a note of that there. First name doesn't work. Because you know what? I think I might have tried that in my search also, and only the first or last name worked. And, you know, I typed office also. Remember, I typed in the Keller one, and it didn't pull it up, and I thought maybe I hit the space by accident there. So that's another one, office and AG. We'll work on those, Cindy. Thank you for mentioning those. It should work that way, absolutely. So right now it's just agent by last name. Why would you not want to send listings to the client if you are showing them product? Oh, absolutely, Rodney. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm going to show these 5 houses, in fact, I probably would have emailed it to him first, because that's probably how he told me about them, that he wants to go see them. So yes, absolutely. I just kind of showed it to you in a backwards manner. So I thank you for correcting me on that one there. So yes, you'd probably email it to them first and then add it to their cart, but you can do it any way you want, first or last there. When you email to the portal, does it send an email to a client, or do they have to check portal for updates? Yeah, it does send them an email. Actually, both, Scarlett. If they've already been going to their portal, just tell them to check their portal, and those listings will be there. Or they'll get an email too, and when they click it, it will take them to their portal. So either way, I mean, if they've already received the portal from previous emails, and let's say they bookmarked it or something, they don't have to wait for that email to come out. They can just go right to it, or they can see that email and it takes them right there to it. So either way, they can do that there. I hope that I answered that one there for you. Okay. Saving a search, saving searches, and then we'll get into the the auto emails and the client portal, how it looks real quick and stuff, and then we'll move forward here. That was the biggest chunk, and that was about 45 minutes, and we got another 45 minutes, so the next section shouldn't be as big as that section was. Okay, I want to do a search and save it. Excuse me, I had a sneeze there. Okay, let's do this here. Obviously, I hover over search. I choose my property type that I want to search. I choose residential. In here, I'm going to just say area 19, and let you know, if you want to do multiple addresses, instead of using the speed bar up here, there is a address search here where you can hit more. So you can do up to like 10 different addresses, or just 10 different streets in here. Okay. Yes, Jeff, and I'm going to show you that too. Jeff's question was, if you have multiple searches set up for one client, do they have one portal or multiple portals? No, they have one portal. One portal, and they'll see that search criteria, another search criteria, or they can just turn it on and see everything at one time. So yes, absolutely, it's always one location. It's a one-stop shop for them, and I'll show you that, Jeff. Okay, so I'm just going to do a search, area 19, and I'm just going to do a price of 500 to 700, because I heard that's a nice area. I've only got 5 matches, that's fine. And I go to results, and here's these 5 houses. Okay, well, if I want to save this search for my client here, what I'm going to do is just, let's see here, I've got the 5 houses in my list. I'm going to just go down to Save button. That easy. Do your search, go to Save, and then you're going to either save it as a search or save it as an auto email. Now, saving it as a search will save the search criteria. Area actives, area 19 in $500,000 to $700,000 price range. it will save that criteria, but it will not auto email my client. The auto email will. So the question you've got is, do you want to save the search but not have it auto email, or do you want to save the search but do save it or do auto email them? So both of these are saving the search criteria that I just put in. One is not auto emailing and the other one is auto emailing. Okay. And Rodney, right here is how we're setting up the client's portal. So I'll keep that in mind as I go through this, Rodney, here. So if I save it as a search, it does not set up a portal. It just saves that search for that client, but it does not auto email them. Okay, and it does not have a portal to put them on because I haven't activated this. So if I do, let's say I have a client, and let's say his name is Dan, and Dan wants me to save this search, but auto email him all the new matches here. When I click on new auto email, it's going to say, okay, who is this for? If I open this up, I notice Dan is not in this list here. So that's fine. You know, maybe I didn't have time to add him into my contact list. That's fine because I got a little shortcut right here. When I click that shortcut here, I can add Dan to my list, Dan Williams. Okay? And then I can give him an email address, Dan at whatever, if I can spell whatever.com. Okay? So they have to have an email address. If they don't have an email address, well, guess what? You're going to have to give them one. Make up one like I'm doing here. Okay? You can type in another email address, such as his wife's email address. You can do a comma or a semicolon, and then type in Susan's name, Susan at whatever. Susan at whatever.com. You can do up to 5 email addresses in this one box here. Okay. How do you name the search? Yeah, we'll get in there. Or is the search by email address? No, we'll get to that part there, Sharon. Yeah, we're almost there. Okay. So first name, last name, and you can put both or up to 5 email addresses separated by comma or a semicolon in there. Now you notice this salutation says, Dear Dan. Well, I don't want to leave out Susan, so I can open this up and I can customize this. I can go in here, I can say, Dear Dan and Susan, in comma. Okay? Now, if I want to go a little bit further, I could just hit save and everything's saved for my contact, but I want to hit show all fields. By me hitting show all fields, I then can use this additional names part and I can type in Susan's name here. Okay? And then I can give them a home address, business, and notes and things like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And my contact, at whatever.com. Oh, see what I did here? I typed in 2 @ symbols. My bad. Okay. So Dan and Susan, now save it. There we go. So now I link this search. I'm setting it up as a new auto email. Now comes, well, do I want to blind carbon copy myself? Yes or no? That's your decision. I think in the beginning it might not be a bad idea to copy yourself. Okay. Here's the name of the search. Sharon, this is where you had your question at. What do you want to call this search? Well, if this is a search for listings in Old Metairie, okay, well, name it that. Name it whatever you like there. Because Dan could have 3 or 4 searches, as I think it was Jeff that asked that question. Do they have one portal or 2? So watch this. I'm going to do one search right now, listings in Old Metairie. Okay. All right. Thanks, James. I see that there. Okay. Yeah, James just sent me a listing there. When I BCC myself, can I choose the view? Yes, you can, Scarlett. And I think when you BCC yourself and you log in, if you're logged into Matrix at the same time, I think you, as the agent, can see the agent information. But if you're not logged into Matrix, you only see the client views. Okay, so we might need to try that there. We can save a template welcome email to use. Yeah, I'll show you that there too. Now, after I give it a name here, just like Jenny said, in the welcome email, I've got a message here, welcome to your portal, and this is a generic message. You may not like that. So Jenny, if you don't like this template here, just take out whatever you don't like, type in something like, please click the link below, okay? Because that's important that they need to click on this. Now, if you want to save this permanently as your template, as a welcome message, there's that little wheel, little settings wheel right here that you just need to click on and say set as my current message, welcome message, default message there. So there you go, Jenny. Just make sure you click on that part there. You're welcome. Okay, you can do the same with the recurring messages. Now, the recurring messages should be real simple. Hey, something's changed on your listings. You know, click on this link. Let's go see it. So keep this message really short. But this welcome message, they need to click on. They will not get any future welcome messages or emails from this search until they accept it. I will show you that. I will show you how you can tell if they clicked it or not. Okay. So they need to do this. You can set your own message, set your default there, scroll down. Now there's some other options. I'm going to just skip over that. Okay, these are kind of advanced stuff here, so we'll skip over that. Then it says you want it ASAP or daily, once a day in the morning, once a day in the evening, or twice a day, or monthly. I'm just going to leave it on ASAP, and then I'm just going to save this. And this search is saved. And there you go. You've got your stuff in there. And these 5 listings are now on their portal. Okay. Now, once I save this as an auto email, see right up here it says created auto email listings, listing in Old Metairie. Now, how do you find out where this auto email is? It's under My Matrix, under auto emails. Okay. So when I click on auto emails, I'm going to see this search for Dan Williams right here. See Dan Williams listings in Old Metairie. Now you can tell right here that that it was sent out, and because they have an auto email, they have a portal. Honestly, actually, whoever is in your contact list has a portal. So. So the question that was just asked a moment ago, how do you have a portal? If you've got them in your contact list, they have a portal. They don't know about it until you email them listings. Okay, but everyone that's in your contact list has their own portal. They just don't know about it until you start either auto-emailing them or you manually email them listings. Okay, so here's a list of all my auto emails. There's the one I just saved for Dan Williams. It is not active yet. See that white circle here? The white circle means that the client must click on it to activate it. So we're waiting for Dan to click on that link, which was already sent to activate it. It will stay white until Dan clicks on it. As soon as he clicks on it, like Ben did, Ben has already clicked on that link, and it's green. And there's a white check mark. That means it's active. These 3 searches are now on Ben's one portal for him to see these. And I'm going to show you what it looks like here in a moment. So Dan needs to click that. Now let's say a week goes by and Dan does not click on that link. Okay, he's got 30 days to click that link. Day 25 of him not going to it, we will send you an email saying, hey, it's been 25 days since Dan has been to his portal. It will get turned off on day 30, so we will let you know that. Okay, but I might want to give Dan a call and say, Dan, is everything okay? I sent you this search. I noticed you haven't opened it up yet. Well, maybe he lost it. Maybe it got sent to his spam or junk folder. Well, all I need to do is just click on it, and there's a lot of options down here. Okay, all I need to do is resend that message there. And when I resend it, it goes back to him again, and he's got another option to click on that link there. But I would not, my recommendation is I would not resend it until I talk to Dan to make sure he wants me to send it, because what if I resend it to him and he still doesn't see it? He may not be looking for it. So in there. Okay, and Brandy, I'll get back to your question here in a second because I know where you're going with that question here. How long do these searches last? Previously 90 days. Very good option here, Scarlett. If once I send this to Ben and once Ben clicks that, it will never expire as long as Ben periodically goes to these searches. Once he goes to this search and looks at it, it extends it another 30 days. So as long as they're actively looking at it, it will never expire. Okay. Now, if he hasn't been there, and then we'll let you know. Hey, it's been 25 days. They haven't been there, so they'll need to go back. Now, if it does get turned off after 30 days, see that little red exclamation point? That red exclamation point will tell you it was turned off. And if you leave your mouse here on top of it, it'll tell you why it was turned off. This one here was disabled by me. I turned it off. But if it was 30 days and the client didn't click on it, it will say disabled due to inactivity. So I can very easily turn this back on. So if Tom wants me to turn this back on, I can right here and turn this back on and stuff. So I can just hover over this, and I could click on Jefferson Parish, and I can click on settings. Okay, so if I want to turn that back on, I just click on that search, I click on settings, and then scroll down, and there's an option right here to enable it. Okay, and if I turn it back, go down here and I hit save, that search has now been turned back on. That link has been sent back out to Tom, and now it's up to him to click on to activate it. Okay, I can do the opposite. Let's say he wants to take a timeout, and let's say I've been emailing him listings, but they're going on vacation. Well, I can put a check mark next to one of these searches here, just like I did. Come down here. I don't want to delete that search. I just want to disable it. Okay? Are you sure you want to disable it? Yes, I do. And now it's been turned back off. So I paused it. I took a timeout, so that way you can do that. Now, let's kind of get to Brandy's question here. She said that if you turn a saved search into an auto email, do you lose the search and save searches? Yes, you do, Brandy. It's still a search. It's just not under the saved search category. It's in the auto emails. I'm going to do it the opposite way. I've got an auto email here for Harry. Okay, it's Mandeville. Let's say he found a house. I don't want to keep sending him auto emails. So what I'm going to do is click on it, go to settings, and then right up here, I'm going to turn this auto email back into a saved search. So it's either an auto email or it's a search. It's one or the other. It's on or it's off. So I'm going to turn this one off. I'm going to turn it back into a saved search. So by me clicking on that, I give it my name again. I'll just call it Mandeville. Mandeville. And I hit save. Now, it is not an auto email anymore. Where did it go? Well, my matrix save searches. It's here. It's called Mandeville for Harry. Now let's just do what Brandy said. What if I had a search? Let's say I've got a lakefront search for Steve Johnson. I need to turn it on. I need to make it active. I need to make it auto prospect again. Well, I'm under saved searches. I got 17. One of them's for Steve Johnson called Lakefront. So I click on it. I go to settings. And then right up here, turn this saved search into an auto email. So I click on it. Now I give it a name, Lakefront search. Here's my message if I like. We kind of went through this already. Come down here, daily, ASAP. I hit save. And now notice it is not a saved search anymore for Harry. Where did it go? Did I lose it? No. It's under My Matrix Auto Emails. And it's here for, I forget what client that was right here for Steve. Lakefront search right here. See? Now it's an auto email. So it's either one or the other. But if you take the save search or auto email search and change the search criteria, absolutely. Watch this, Joette. If I change this criteria, let's say months went by and Steve wants me to tweak his search criteria because maybe he wants to broaden the price range or narrow the price range. So what I can do is I just come right back into auto emails. I pick Steve's search called Lakefront. I click on it. This time I'm going to modify the criteria here. So I'm going to click on the criteria, and now he wants me to increase the price range from 200 to 300 to 200 to 400 or whatever. Okay? And once I hit save, it now takes me one more step here to where I fill this in. Do I want to change the name? No. I'll keep it the same. Is there anything else I want to change in here? No. I think that all looks good. I'm just going to hit save. Now, he just got an email sent, and when he clicks on it, he's going to notice instead of just having houses on that list between 200 and 300, now he's going to have houses between 200 and 400,000. So some more properties were just added to it. If I reduce the price, less listings would be on that, and he would only see the smaller number. So the portal always shows you the current search criteria and what it matches. So if I tweak it here, it'll either add more or take some off of that portal, and it always reflects what's currently saved on that criteria there. And if houses on that criteria ever sell or change price, it will come off of that portal unless they save it as a favorite or as a possibility. And we'll talk about that here in a second. Let me see the properties within the new search or what's in all the properties. Okay. Scarlett, that kind of leads us into this next question here, the next part of this here. And I think these two are related. So let's go further here and let's do that situation that you just said. So you know I just did this. If I went to search residential, I typed in area 19, and I did, let's say, let me do a bigger price range, 500 plus. Okay? I got 29 matches. If I go to results, if I do what I just showed you, I hit save new auto email. All 29 of these listings will be on his portal. Okay? You may not want this, so let me show you this little tip here. If I know right now that there are 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 houses that he does not like, we've already looked at them, and whatever the reason, he just does not like the houses, okay? You're going to come and select these houses, and if these are the 5 houses that I selected, and you know right now he does not like these, before I save it as an auto email, before I do that, if I go to refine, and I hit discard, and I discard them. Now I'm down to 24 houses, not 29, and when he will never see those 5 houses if I come back to my save button and now save it as a new auto email. He will only see these 24 plus the new ones, but he will never see those 5 houses again because I rejected them. Okay. Now you might want to ask yourself the question, did I reject them because the price is too high? Because what if it changes price? Let's say it reduces 10 or 15,000. Do they think they might be interested in it? In that case, you may not want to discard it because once you discard that, to the best of my knowledge, they do not see those again because you're just eliminating them unless it gets a new MLS number. Okay. But by me discarding those 5 houses, and then I hit the save button and new auto email and give it a name here. And let me do Dan again. I'm going to say Old Metairie again. Keep picking on the same area here, Old Metairie. And I scroll down. Look at the criteria here. Residential active in area 19, 500,000 or more, but 5 listings have been discarded. So that's part of the criteria. It knows what those 5 listings are. So when I save this here, 24 of them will be on his portal waiting for him, not 29, and those 5 will not be on there. Okay? Diana, you said, okay, thanks. I should encourage the client just to use the portal link, and the engine, his or her, will not expire. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely, Diane. Okay, so So here, let's show you one other little situation here. Let's do that same search, residential. Let's do 19, area 19 again, and let's do 500 plus. Okay. I get my results. Now I showed you, if I got 29, if I go straight to save auto email, all 29 of these will be on his portal. If I select some and I go to refine and I discard them, remember what I just did? I had those 5 houses and I discard them. He will not see those 5. Let's do the opposite. Let's say I've got 29, I select 5 and I narrow them. I hit the narrow button. Now I'm only seeing 5 houses. So if I hit the save button here and then save it as a new auto email, it's going to save those 5 listings. And let me do it for Dan again. And this one I'm going to say 5 favorite listings. Okay. And then it's going to give me a name here. Fill this out and hit save. Now those 5 houses are sent to him. So he's actually got 3 searches for him right now. So if I go up to My Matrix, Auto Emails, if I look for Dan Williams, see him right here? He's got 5 favorite listings, listings in Old Metairie and Old Metairie. Remember, one of them was all 29, the other one was just 24 minus the 5, and this one here was just those 5. So how do you want to send this? Do you want to send them all? I prefer, personally, would rather send them all the matches and let them start rejecting and saving them as favorites on their portal, and that's where we're going to next here. That's what I like. But if I know right away they do not like those houses and they never want to see them, I could reject them. Or I could save certain houses that they like, but they can also save them on their portal, and that's where I want to go to next. Okay, so I'd rather do it that way, but this is a way you can do it. So if I go up to, if I want to see Dan's portal, if I hover over this and I go to contacts, and I go down here and I see Dan as one of my contacts here. If I click on his name, there's a lot of things. He's got 3 auto emails. I've sent him 1 email. I can edit, start a CMA, but I can open his portal right here. Okay, see open portal. And by the way, while I'm in the contacts, if you look over here, do you see the carts, the notes, the favorites, the possibilities, and the discards? This is one way you can quickly see who has what, who has saved listings as a favorite, who has saved them as a possibility, and who has rejected listings. Okay, you want to encourage your clients to save favorites or possibilities and reject them. Okay, and then also encourage them to leave you notes. You both can leave each other notes, and talk about that. And then here's that cart I already showed you. So here's Dan Williams. Okay, so if I click on his name, I'm going to come down to this option down here. It's called Open Portal. When I click on that, it's going to show me what Dan's portal looks like. Okay, and I got some things opened up here. Now, I will show you this. There's 2 tabs here at the top, a Welcome tab and a Properties tab. Let me try to move this over a little bit because our webinar thing might be kind of blocking that out of the way here. So there are 2 portals here, the Welcome tab and a Properties tab. This is what they will see, just FYI. When they click on that link, this is what they will see when they first come in here. They will see these listings in a single line view. And remember, the question was, do they have 1 portal or do they have multiple portals? Here, actually, you're only seeing 1 right now. You know what? Since this is real time and it hasn't made it here yet, let me do a favor and let's go back. Let me do this for another client of mine. Let's go back to auto emails. Let's pick someone who's already opened the link up. See Ben Samuels right here? He's got 3 searches and he's already been to that link. See, Dan Williams, all 3 of his searches are not yet on his portal yet. It takes like 5-10 minutes and they're not there yet. So let me back out this way. So once I've sent this to Ben and he gets the email, let me show you what his email looks like. When Ben gets this, it'll say, "Dear Ben, welcome to your portal. Whatever verbiage you had here, he needs to click on this link. Once he clicks on that link, it will take him to his portal. This is what Ben sees on his portal. It says, welcome Ben Samuels. In fact, it'll alert them right here that there's a new message waiting for them. So if they click on that, they can see the new message. And I left a little message up here, a little gateway portal. Okay. And here's all the notes that me and him have saved and the emails and the CMAs I've sent him. But let's go back to the Properties tab here. If I go back to this Properties here, remember, if I open this up, here's his lakefront properties. Here's his second one that is discarded. I discarded some properties. Now he's seeing that search, and now he's seeing a third search called narrowed search. So I've got 3 searches for him, and at any time he can change this, or he can go back to his all page and look at them all right here. So now he's seeing all listings at one time. He can click on the MLS number and it shows him the full view. And down here is the heart, the light bulb, and the discard button. So if he knows he doesn't like this, please tell him to discard it. And it throws it right up here in the discarded. If he likes this, wants to save it, but save it as a possibility, it throws it right here. And if he saves it as a favorite, it throws it up here. And I will say this, if they save it as a favorite or possibility and it changes price, it will stay on his portal and it will show them if it's not active anymore. So that way if he saved a house as favorite, but now it's sold or something, he can say, oh man, I should have made an offer on this. It's sold now. So, he waited too long. So, but if he doesn't save it, let's say he just leaves this blank here, and then and he just leaves it blank and it changes, let's say it sells. Well, this will come off of his portal, okay? But if he saves it, it will stay on his portal and it'll show you the new status as it changes. So that way you can kind of encourage them to act on it. Now, they can use the back button and it takes them right back to the single line view. So they can click on the listing here, shows them full view. They can see these options here. See right here, the attachments. Your client can see the attachments. They can see the map view, and they can open up the photos here. And in fact, they can scroll through and look at all the photos here. Okay. They can also hit this button here that takes them back to the single line view. So they can either use the back button or that link there. Now, remember it didn't ask me which view to send this to my clients? Well, they've got under the display, they can change it to the thumbnail view. They can change it to the full view. Notice these are client-friendly reports, so they do not see the listing agent on here. They can change this to the full with map. Okay, so they can choose, and they can even switch this to a map and see all of their properties on one map right here. They can switch this from display to splits. So it's going to have the map on top and the grid down below here. Okay, so as they hover over it, it just kind of highlights the one above that they're looking at. And then they can change it back to whatever view. Now, if your client changes that view to a different view, it will remember their choice. So if they like the thumbnail or a client full, when they go back, it will remember on their computer what view they last saw it on there. Okay, so that's another option there. Now, if they go back to the Welcome tab, the Welcome tab, this is like their bulletin board. I've got a little welcome message for my clients. I can see all the emails I've sent them directly, like a CMA. I've emailed him his CMA. He can click on it and see it. There's some listings I sent him right here. You can click on to see. Here's notes that either me or him have left for each other with the MLS number. So if he leaves me notes, I can see them, and vice versa. But it does not email it though. So they need, just remember, if you leave notes on properties, it does not send them an email. It just stays here. So if it's something important on a property, you might need to call them or email them directly. They can do their own searching right here, and here's your searches that you have for them. So they cannot change your search criteria, but they can do their own searching here. And here's the favorites and discarded. And you notice over here, it's just scrolling through automatically all their favorite listings. So once they were back here on the Properties tab, once they start saving listings as favorites, notice this number is going to go up high. And please, like I said, please encourage them to start deleting listings. Otherwise, this list is going to grow and grow if they're not deleting properties. So they need to start making a decision. Get rid of it or save it. And then they can always click on this over here to see what they've rejected. Okay? And they can always go back here and see what their favorites were and so forth here. Okay? And they can see their possibilities also. So that's their portal and workout there. Let's see. Let's get into one more thing, and then we'll move in and add edit and make sure we have all the questions in here. Concierge mode. If I save that search for my client, area 19, and I have my price range again, 500 plus, and I go to results, and let's say he does not want to look at these. He wants me to look at them first. Well, what I can do is go to Save, New Auto Email, and link it to my client, Dan. Give it a name, Old Metairie. Go down here. This time, I'm going to put it in the concierge mode. Now here, notice my ASE, P, and daily. As soon as I put it in the concierge mode, there is no time schedule. So here, if I hit save, it takes me straight to the approvals. These are the 29 listings. He does not see any of these until I select some that I think he will like and I approve them. Once I approve them, boom, it sends it to them, and they are now on this portal, and they will get a link there. Cindy, should you be able to click on the link to see the CMA links there? As the agent, I'm not sure if you can click it or not. The client should definitely, but you as the agent, and if not, we might be able to open that up for you. But I do know that your clients should be able to click the link. I just don't know if the agent can or not. So we might be able to see that. How long is it available to the client? Good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm not sure. I would imagine probably 90 days. I would think about 90 days out there. I think that's the standard. Okay, so if I pick houses in here that he does not like, I could reject them right here, and that means that he will never see those houses because I got rid of them. So I can select them and approve them, or I can select them and reject them. Now, if he comes back 3 or 4 months later, I can see the 4 properties I've rejected him because he might now be interested in them. So what I could do is go back in and pick them again and now approve them, where before they were rejected. So, and right here is your concierge. So once you save a auto email in a concierge mode, it's letting me know that Dan's got 22 listings waiting for me to approve or reject. Okay, so he doesn't see these 22 until I do something with them, and that's called the concierge mode. Okay, well, I'm ready to jump into the add edit. I know we're getting tight on time, so let's go ahead and move forward into add and modify listings. Okay, and then the CMAs. So to add, modify listings, well, obviously, first of all, right here on my home page, you can edit your listings on the home page. My listings, click on it, and you will be able to agent full view, bottom of the screen. I'm reading what James told me there. Yeah. So here's all my active listings. I can see I got incomplete listings. I got active listings here. So right here, I can hover over my matrix, and under my matrix, I got my listings right here. So if I click on my listings, this is one way you can edit a listing. Okay. So if I go in, I've got my incomplete listings. Now I don't have any active listings because not a realtor down here, not an agent down here. So I'm going to use the incomplete listings. Incomplete, Rodney, means that they're not finished, they're not submitted, they're not live. I still can save it as a temporary listing. No one else can see it except for me and the office. and so forth there. Okay, so that's what the incomplete listings are. So if I got started on a property and it's not live yet, what I can do, I can make it, I can add the photos, I can do everything to it. And you notice the status is an I, so no one else sees this. So if I want to finish this property, which is let's see right here, 1234 Maple Syrup Lane, what I can do is I can put a check mark next to it, and then I can hit the edit button. Okay, or I can hit manage photos. So let's say my listing office admin person added this listing there, but it's not yet live. It's still incomplete. What I can do is, before it goes live, I can put a check mark here and manage, upload the photos here, or upload the attachments here. Okay. Okay, now Ronnie, you said you have a listing currently showing as incomplete, but should it be live? Well, you tell me. Are you ready to make it active so everyone can see it? Because if it's incomplete, it's still not out there for people to see. So that's something you need to answer if you need to make it active or not. Right. Okay. Now, another way, let's just do a brand new listing. So under My Matrix, My Listings, this is where you get to your incomplete or your active ones. Let's do a brand new listing. Under Input, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit Add New. I want to add a new listing. So I click on Add New. And then I come down here. Is it residential? Is it multifamily? What property type is it? Well, I'm going to choose residential. Now, when you first come in here, it says, okay, fill from an existing listing. This is your copy feature. So if you want to make a copy of your listing from the past, now it has to be your listing, all you need to do is type in the MLS number and hit fill, and it's going to copy over the fields over, and then you just finish or change whatever you need to change there. There's a feature coming out soon. It's called Fill from Real List. So under Fill from Real List, what this does is you pick your parish, you type in the address within that parish. It's going to do a tax search in Real List, find the property, and do an auto populate. Okay, so it's going to pull in as much information that we have off of the Real List tax search. Okay, and throw it in. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. And then if there's something wrong, you can change it and fix it there. But for now, until that gets turned on, the next option is start with a blank listing. This means you start from scratch and fill this in. So here's our options. Here's your incomplete, here's your active, and your non-listed solds and under contract. So if I leave it at active, when I go through these fields here, you can see the required fields. Okay? You cannot submit this as active until you fill in all the required fields here. If I go back and I change the status and I move it to incomplete, and then I go through here, it is not filled in. Okay? No required fields. Actually, there's one required field here called dwelling type. Okay, but there are no other required fields in here. So at any time, as incomplete, I can submit this as an incomplete listing and then come back and finish it later. Okay, now this is what I would encourage you to do. When you first get started, I would probably have it on incomplete, go through a section by section, one at a time, and I'm going to do something here. I'm going to type in 3645. North, I-10 Service Road. Okay, and then the suffix here is road. There we go. If you do the zip code, once you give us the address and the zip code, you are now able to map the property. Okay, you hit the Get Lat Long from Address link right here, and by doing that, it's going to map the property. If it's not mapped right, you can hit this and change the location to where it needs to go. So please make sure your listing, see how I'm just moving this around, please move your map to where it needs to go. And once you do that, make sure you hit Place New Pin, and that location is now set, and then you can hit Done. And now your map is correct. Like I said, remember, you can choose the Google Street View. So if you hit the Google Street View, what this is going to do is going to show you what it looks like on Google Street View, and I don't like this view. So what I might want to do is actually drive down the street here a little bit and get it on the right side, and then maybe kind of do it like this here. Okay, and if that's the view I want people to see when they open it, then just hit OK. And now I just changed that. But fill in what I would do before I go to my next section. I would fill in as much as possible on this because right now there is not a auto save feature. It is coming. Okay, an auto save feature is coming, just not yet. So hopefully soon, but not yet. And then when they do this and they fill out this information, I don't want to lose this information. So what I suggest is make sure the status is incomplete, hit submit listing. You will get a live MLS number, and you can add your photos and your attachments now while it's still incomplete. Now it's saved. Now I can just go right back to my input, go back and find that listing that I was just working on, which is right down here, okay? And then it opens it back up. And now what I can do is go back into my add edit, residential add edit, and here's where I can go to my next tab. The reason why I'm saying this is because it doesn't auto save it. I don't want you to go down and spend all this time filling this out, going to the next tab, filling all this information out, going to this tab, and filling this out, just to get to the very end and find out you lost your internet connection, and I don't want you to lose your information here, okay? So whenever you feel ready, go back to your status tab. As long as it's incomplete, you can submit it. If it's active and you try to submit it, you're going to get all these little messages up here. See the red exclamation circles here? That means you cannot submit it as active until you fill out all this stuff here. Okay. Now, Judy, how long does it save it as incomplete? Not really sure. I would guess it's probably the same period that you had before in your old system. So if it was a few days or a week, I would imagine, but I could be wrong on that. That I'm not really sure, but it should save it for a little bit anyways. Okay, you should have, I would say, at least a few days, if not a little bit longer. So you can scroll through this, but just remember you cannot save it as active until you get all that required fields in there. Okay. Now, if I want to modify that, let's say it's in there, but it's still, it's active or it's not, just go back to input. Instead of hitting the edit existing, open up your pick list here. This pick list will have a list of all of your stuff here. Yeah, so Hyatt, yeah, exactly. If you're in an office where all the listing admin people do that, well, guess what? Let's say your admin people at your office, Hyatt, doesn't, they could save it as incomplete, and then the agent themselves could come in here, pick the property that they want. Now, I'm not sure if they're allowed to add photos themselves. Okay, if they can, they will have this option. If they can't, this option won't be there. But watch this. We are about to turn this feature on, okay? And right now it says update geocoding information. We're going to have it say update map location right here, Hyatt. So if they do not have the ability to add the listings, but they will have the ability to come in and update the map location, okay? That's right around the corner. So as soon as we test it and tweak it, we'll let you know, and your agents will be able to map, because you're correct. They are the best ones that know where the house is mapped at, not your office person. So everyone who has a listing in here will be able to map their own location of the properties. Okay. Any other add, edit questions that I might have forgotten about? You may touch on this later. How do we change from one listing agent to another without retyping everything? That's a transfer listing, Rodney. I'm not sure if your broker would do this or if the MLS would do this. It is possible, Rodney, I do know that, where they can transfer listing. Let me pull up this property here, and let's see if it's under my options here. It would be a transfer option. Okay, I know it's possible, Rodney. I just don't know where exactly. When that arises, talk to your broker, or if you are the broker, talk to that MLS, and we'll get that answer for you, because there is a way you can do that there. Okay. Okay. Oh, Jennifer, you had a good question. How do you edit the columns? I need to move on, Jennifer, but if I have time, stay on. I'll be glad to show you that because it's real easy to do too. In fact, Jennifer, I'll show you under the CMA because I want to get into CMA now because I know we're past time, but I want to show you that. So, Jennifer, I'll remember and do it there. Does one sign up to be a tester of new features? Troy, talk to Sharon Whitman. I'm not sure exactly how they set this or if it can and not and stuff, but Sharon would definitely be the one to talk to. Okay. All right. Well, let's do CMAs here. Now, just like in the old system, the old system you had a CMA tab up here. Okay. Well, you don't see a CMA tab here, but you'll notice right under My Matrix it says My CMAs. Okay. So that's where you find your CMAs. You go right here. Now, if you don't have any, obviously it'll be blank, but if you do, here they are. It tells you when they were last modified, okay? And we do hold on to it for 180 days past this last modification date. You could hit a Start New CMA button here, and it takes you through the CMA wizard, very similar to what that CMA wizard was like in the old system, except for this goes across where the old one went down the list, okay? So, this is one way of doing a new CMA. I like a different way of doing a CMA. Cindy, the expiration date can be extended, and all you do there is see the modification date. All you have to do is click on one, hit edit, make a change to it somewhere, and then save it, and it'll be extended. That's how you extend your dates there. So if it's about to expire, just go in and do that, and it'll extend it a little bit more. So what I think you should do for your CMAs is start with search. So if you're taking notes on how to do a CMA, I recommend step one, go to search. Choose your property type. I'm going to choose residential. Pick your criteria. Most of us would do solds, definitely, and actives. I like solds 90 days back. You can do 180 days back. You can even do a date range in here. Okay, so you can type in the date range if you like. Then, pick your statuses. I'm just going to do something real quick here. I'm going to pick 3 beds and 2 baths. And then I'm going to maybe square feet, 1,500 through 2,000. You guys should know how to search for comps. Hopefully I'm not teaching anything new. So I'm searching for my comps, actives and solds. I'm going to go to my results here. Once I've got my results here, I got some actives, I got some solds. So now I'm going to choose, I'm going to do the second most important part is choose my comps. So I'm going to pick some active listings, and then I'm going to come down here and pick some solds. Now, there is a one-line CMA right here. Okay, so once I pick my 6 comps, I could hit the one-line CMA, and it breaks it down in a nice, neat format here. It's going to show me the actives and the solds with some stats right here, which I think is pretty nice feature right here. Now, down here, since it opened up as a PDF, the only thing I can do is either save it or print this off. Let me show you how to email this. If I'm going back to here, and if I want to email this one-line CMA, it's actually under the print button. So if I hit the print button, there's an email option right here. Okay, I'm going to choose the CMA one-line report, and then I can email that to my client if I want to. Okay, so I can email that to them. And remember, we had that 3 side-by-side report. It's right here. That's what I showed you earlier there. Okay, so that's the one-line CMA. Now, I could very simply, once I'm ready and I pick my comps, here's the magic button, the CMA button. This will pull these 6 listings over into a full-fledged CMA. Here they are. here's all my tabs here at the top. So just like the old system, I need to pick who does this belong to. I'm going to say it belongs to Dan. There it is. I could put a description if I like. That's fine. I'm going to hit Pages is my second tab. Now, there are no pages in here, okay, by starting. So here's the pages you could add here. And it'll let you know you can add your own custom pages. So if you've got your own nice little cover sheet or title page or cover letter or whatever you like, office profile, a little resume about who you are, and you want that in here, upload it. Once you upload it, it will be here for you. And then you can add some of our pages in here too. So we give you 2 cover sheets, we give you some subject pages, we give you some comparable pages. Now, you don't know what they look like, so what I suggest is let's just pick everything. So if I pick that cover sheet and that cover sheet, they both pop over here, okay? If I pick that summary list and that price adjustments, here they are over here. If I know I want everything in the comparable section here, all I need to do is hit this tab right here at the top, comparables. Now that brings all those pages over. Now we got some more pages underneath the static and then just one map page here. So these ones you might want to look at also. I don't think you're going to use them all, but some of them I think looks pretty good. So I'm just going to pull them all over, and I'm going to pull over the map page too. Now you can, between that and uploading your own, they all get over here. Then you can highlight certain pages and move them up or move them around. You sort the order that you like, and you can highlight ones that you don't like and hit the X. And when you highlight one and hit the X, it goes away. Now, once you get this in the order that you like, especially with your own pages, and you've got that in the order that you like, set it as your default. And you won't have to go through this again and again because you'll set it as your default. So the first time, you don't really know what they look like, so you're going to pick everything and look at them. Now, to look at them, you actually do it under Finish, so kind of hold that thought there. I'm going to go to Subject, and then the subject property is I can type it in manually, okay? This is where I would just go in, type in that house address, number, street name, fill all this stuff in. The reason why you want to do this is so on the side-by-side reports inside the CMA, you can see the subject property with each comp right next to each other, side by side, and I think it looks nice. If I leave this blank, the first column will be blank, and then I see the next two. So I like them to see their search criteria or their subject property there. So you can either type it in manually or you can type in the MLS number. Let's say it was a past listing back several years ago. If you know the MLS number, you can just type it in and hit the fill button. If you're not sure if it was an MLS number, what you can do is just search for it. Let's just search by the cross property and type in the address. Let's see if it's been there. If it is, then you can find it that way. Okay, but you might have to manually type all this in though, just to let you know. And then you got a cover sheet. Here's your cover sheet, which would show the picture of your property. It would show Dan's address, and it would show your information down here. Comparables page. Under comps, these are your 6 active or your 6 comps, 3 actives, 3 solds. You could select some months, let's say a few months later, you can select some and remove them. Or you could go in and add them, add some new listings, do a new search. And it does remember your search criteria. So if you come back in 2 or 3 months later, you could run a new search and see if you can find some more comps out there, okay? Because you might have some new solds, you might have some new actives out there. You want to keep your CMA fresh. Okay, so you can add more just like you did in the old system. Here's your map button. It'll map all your properties, including the subject property, but I didn't have an address in here. That's why it didn't map it for me. Then I can go to my adjustments page. The adjustment page, these are my 6 houses. Now, I'm not an appraiser, so I don't like to go through this and throw in adjustments, pricing adjustments, okay? I do like to look at this. I just don't want to throw in a dollar amount, add or subtract. But all you do is put if you do want to subtract $1,000, you just put a -1,000 in there, okay? Or if you're adding, it's just straight 1,000, and now it's an addition. But I don't like doing that, okay? Pricing your page. Now you come here. Here's all your statistics. That's the lowest, the highest, the medium, the average. And then in this box where it says suggested list price, what you do is just type in your price of $599.999 and watch what happens when I go to my page. It will throw in a nice little page for you. So here's finished. It does auto save it here temporarily. You can hit that little floppy disk to save it permanently whenever you want. But here's all my pages, and you can email that, which puts it on their portal, or you could hit the View CMA. Here's your preview button. So if I hit the View CMA, it actually opens up a second tab for me. Okay, I had a first tab and a second tab here. Angelique, you would ask that question. Difference between median and average. Average is, well, some people say the median is the truer of the average price, because the average is, I mean, you could have $1 million property and the other ones are only 200,000. Average will just, that number really gets skewed out of it, but a median would take in the difference there. It's really complicated there, but some people like median. It's a truer average. So I know that's not really answering your question there, but kind of complicated, I guess you could say. Well, here's your pages. Here's your one cover page. Here's your second cover page. There's several in here. Here's another page here. So you're going to need to look at all these pages, see which ones you like, and I wanted to show you that. I wanted to show you that subject price, pricing your property one. In fact, let me see if I can move this down a little bit, because I think that, pricing recommendations right here, I think this is a really nice and neat page. It gives you the statistics, and remember I typed in that price of $599,999. Well, that's where it throws it in, and it throws in this little verbiage here that says, after studying this and doing careful evaluations, I come up with that price. Okay, so I think that's a nice, neat page. But there are several pages in here I think are pretty nice. I think some of these are nicer than what we had before in the old system. Okay, that's just my preference. There were some good pages in the old system too. So so that's how you preview your pages. Okay, so you can email it, you can view it, and then when you're done, once you know what pages you like and don't like, go back to your Pages tab. Start taking out some of the pages that you know you don't like. Okay, start taking them out, start rearranging them, and make sure you set it as your default setting here. Okay, and here's your save button. Okay, now I want to go back because I think it was Jennifer that asked this question. And by the way, here's your recent searches. Under up here at the top, it remembers your last recent 50 most recent searches that you ran, so it kind of remembers everything here. So you can see I did 22 of them just a second ago. So I'm pulling these back up. Now, I think it was Jennifer. Someone had this question, how do I rearrange the columns up here? Well, what I can do is, see when I put my cursor on there, I get these arrows. I can grab it and move these around in the order that I like them in. Okay. What I can do if I want to take out something like condition or listing agent or office, see with the 4 arrows, if I just click on it, I can remove that column. And if I want to add a column, I can click on it and hit insert a column. And now I can either scroll down and find it or start typing it in, F-I-R-E, fire for fireplace, select it and hit apply. And now fireplace is right where I put it at, or I can move it and put it where I like it at. Okay? Now, you need to save this. Right now it's the agent single line and you cannot save it here. So what you need to do is go right up here. You can change from 10 per page, 25, 50, maybe 100 per page. And then right after per page, there's a piece of paper there that you can click on and give it your name. So maybe this is your CMA grid. And then you can say save as copy. And now it's called My CMA Grid. So if you open this up, you'll see some of them that will say my. That means they're your grids, okay? So you can change this at any time and look at them in different formats. So you can have several grids open at one time. And if you get one set up exactly the way you like it and you want it to be permanent, it's this little disc or this little wheel right here, okay? You just click on it and set that as your default, so every time you do a search, it's going to be your view, not the agent single line view. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Cindy, I'm not sure why the financial functions is under a different section. I agree. I think that should be with the CMAs. And yeah, and the side-by-side, I think we do have a side-by-side view in the CMAs. Okay. So it's not that same one that you see there, but we do have another one that shows the subject property with each comp in there. That we do, okay? So yeah, I take that in consideration. The net sheets should be with the CMAs also. I agree with you there. Okay, good point there. Well, I don't know if it has to be uploaded. Well, I guess you could if you do a net sheet here and then to put it in your CMA. Yes, I think you're right. I think it does need to be uploaded once you do it here if you want it to be part of that CMA. So I believe so. I believe so, Cindy, but not exactly sure. Well, we did go a little extra. What else? Anyone else have any questions that you want me to go through? Still got 83 people here online. Pretty good. We are recording this, so you can always replay this again. Watch it, pause it, and come back to it and repeat it there, okay? I'm missing everything, okay. Left side of your page, I'm not sure what's happening to you, Bob, there. Might be a screen setting on yours. Can you send an agent listing to another agent? Yeah, remember, once you pick your houses, and instead of hitting the email, because remember, if I hit email, it's going to send it to a portal. I don't want to do that. I want to pick these houses. I'm going to hit the print button. And then if I'm sending this to another agent, I can do the agent full or full with photo. And then I can hit the email PDF button like I showed earlier on there. So yes, you can do that there. Okay. Yes, Judy, there are tutorials for the client portal. One, we have it on the YouTube page that Sharon put out there. Two, it's under the Help tab. There's one right here under Matrix Tutorial portal. Tutorials right here. Plus, your clients, when they go to their portal, it's under Help. If they click on the Help tab, we have information, but if they click on this, they can see a video also there. Okay. And Charlene, you said, what's the difference between a hot sheet and a market watch? They're almost the same. Okay. They're almost the same here. So let me go back to the home page. Okay. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's go back here. Okay, so a hot sheet is basically, let me pull up the market watch here. A hot sheet is I'm doing property types, and once I click on, let's say I created a hot sheet here called Lakefront in Old Metairie. When I click on it, what I'm seeing are just my property types and my type of changes that I said I want to see. But if I'm doing a market watch, I only have one property type, but now I'm seeing all different types. So they're almost the inverse of each other, the opposite. This one here might be kind of similar to what you used to have in the old system. Okay, this one here might be very similar because you actually see the numbers here. And it depends on what you pick. Do you pick today, or do you pick 3 days back, or whatnot? And it shows you how many new listings are in that residential. Now, you're going to need to customize this. Actually, both of these you're going to need to customize. Okay? Some people just like the hot sheet, and some people just like the market watch. You can use them both if you like, but if you use them both, you need to customize them. Okay? Make sure they're customized, but they are pretty much kind of the same information. It's just looking at it at a different angle. Okay, so what I would do is if I want residential hot sheet and a residential market watch, customize it first. Customize the residential one, hot sheet. Make sure you edit its criteria. Tell it what price range or what dwelling type, what areas you want, and save it. And then I would go right back to the home page and do the same exact thing for the Market Watch residential and customize that one too with the same area and the same whatever you picked on the last one. That way they're the same. So then you can use this one and you can use this one also. But you just play around with it. I know it's not as a direct answer as you might like there. Quick summary of solds without a full CMA to see this. Well, Sharon, if let me pull up that search I did. If I had some solds in here, let me select all, but let me deselect these actives here. If I hit the stats button down here, just the solds there, if I hit the stats and then hit tabular, here's a quick price per square foot. Now that doesn't break it down in a listing price per square foot and stuff, so let me go back. I also have this one-line CMA right here. So I only had solds picked, and this will give me some more price per square feet. See right here, it breaks each listing down, sold price, list price ratio, days on market, and then down here it has a calculation of list price and sold price, and here's your maximums, medium, and average and stuff there too. Okay. Hopefully that helped answered Sharon. And also, Sharon, let's see here. Let's see what we got under print. You got the side by side. You got that CMA in there too. That might show you some stats. And there's probably some stats under here, under the stats tab. That's a whole other section. So you might want to play around with that one too, Sharon, up there under the stats tab. We haven't really covered that too much there. You're welcome. And Scarlett, I think it is that the client discards a property, they do not get it on a search if there is a price reduction. Well, Sharon, that's if you discard the property. What I would do is not discard the property. And if my client, I like to send my client everything, and if they go through and start rejecting some of these listings here and it puts it over here, it will stay on there. And then they can see it if it changes price. That option that I showed you is if they did the search. If I did the search for 22 properties, and let's say, let me unselect here, and let's say I know right now they never want to see these houses again, okay, and then I discard it, and then I save it as a new search. That way they will never see it again. But if I send it to them anyways, they discard it, then they will still see it if it's over here. Okay, that's I need to pick something here. Right. So I don't like rejecting them. What about limits on listings on portals? Cindy, the only limit is when you're first saving the search. See, I've got 19 matches here. If I went back to my search criteria and I had enough searches or enough listings that was more than 250 matches, then I cannot save it as an auto email. Okay, so my criteria has to be less than 250. Okay, once it's saved as an auto email, I don't believe that there is a limitation after that. It's just saving it from the get-go. It has to produce less than 250. After that, should be no limit there on listings. Okay, and I'm going to test that and confirm it just to make sure, but I'm pretty confident. In reference to the client limits, some clients are receiving emails. I don't understand what you're saying there. Scarlett, you said, but you're encouraging them to discard. May change interest with reduction. Yeah, absolutely. If I encourage my client when they go to this portal, and I encourage them to start rejecting it here. See how I get rejected? They will go over here, but I'm sorry, these 3 listings, if they change price, it will pop back on here, and it will show the latest and greatest there. So it will stay on there. Okay. It's just I don't want to discard it for them. I want them to discard it. So yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, maybe I just wasn't clear on that. But just by them selecting it, it does move it over here. But if it changed price, they'll see it again. Yes, absolutely. For over 250 in the portal. Still don't know if I understand your question, Cindy. If it produces more, because if it's more than 250, they wouldn't be able to save it there.